This video is in response to questions that I've been getting from people who know me as someone who has been quite actively using PRINCE2 for many years to manage projects and to develop project management methodologies, and are really interested in why I've moved in the last couple of years from a PRINCE2 basis to more of an Agile project management basis. I think the key thing for me is that PRINCE2 has a fantastic amount to offer, and I don't think we're in a situation where many organisations who've developed a project management method based on PRINCE2 are going to throw that away. But I think we have to be quite pragmatic that there are certain elements of a more agile style of working that can be incredibly beneficial to the situation we now find ourselves in. And I thought it might be quite helpful to establish why I think Agile project management fits so well with the environment that we're in today, and why therefore so many organisations are interested in moving to a more Agile perspective. I'm certainly a big fan of PRINCE2. I've written textbooks on how to implement PRINCE2, and I have used it to develop many PRINCE2 based project methodologies. But I'm now working with those same clients to add in a more agile approach to how they do projects. There are three key reasons, I think, that are driving this requirement. The first is that there are so many potential changes that we can now make. Technology continues to move at a very fast pace, and even the large technology companies who perhaps might have done a launch every 2 to 3 years, 5 or so years ago, are now trying to launch every 9 months. They're trying to bring out new operating systems, they're bringing out new functionality. So we are constantly bombarded with a huge array of choice. And as project managers and program managers, we have to sit there and work out, well, what new things will deliver new benefits, which will be useful for our users, whilst at the same time our users are coming to us with lots of new ideas about what they want. So I think the vast array of choice is increasing and making demand for greater and quicker projects to leverage those choices. I think the second issue is that there is so much interconnectivity between what we do now. The processes that we carry out, the systems that we use, the information that we share, they're all interconnected. So if you take the view at the start of a PRINCE2 project that you're going to do some very thorough planning and some very thorough discovery of what the impact of the project will be and what all the requirements need to be and what all the products need to be, then I think you can get yourself into a cycle where you are doing analysis after analysis, lots of research, but no real work. Our users aren't seeing the product of that. And that's simply because there is so much analysis to do if you go down that route. If you're trying to work out what the impact of one project might be in an interconnected world, then you're going to have to start trying to work out what all the interconnections are. I think we've got to a stage now where there are so many linkages between one thing that we do and something else that we are getting to a point where we're just going to have to take the project impact on trust. We're going to do some research. We're certainly not going to change one thing and not know of certain consequences. But I do think we need to be prepared for a little bit more. Well, we'll have to take it on trust. Let's do a little bit of work, very agile. Let's deliver a little piece to our user, see what the effect is, and then decide what the next step should be. I think thirdly that we have this issue about a lifespan of the projects. PRINCE2 has, to a large extent, quite an emphasis on discovery, requirements gathering, developing quite a comprehensive project initiation document up front. But I think that that works in an environment where you can say, just like I was discussing the IT companies that would do a launch every 2 to 3 years, that one of our projects might have a 2 to 3 year lifespan. Then it makes sense to spend a couple of months really working out what it is we're developing. Problem is that actually with the pace of change, the vast array of choices, we're constantly being asked to upgrade things and change things and do future projects. They're all of a much shorter lifespan. So the payback period is much shorter. And for that reason, we have to shorten the project lifecycle. And that means getting things to the customer much quicker. The quicker we can make these interim deliveries that Agile is so keen for us to do, the quicker customers can start using things, and therefore the quicker they get a return on investment. And that, I think, is really important, because if you've only got a short lifespan before the next big idea comes along, you want to be getting it to pay back and returning that investment as soon as possible. So interim deployments throughout the project lifecycle make a lot more sense for those users who really need to see the value and really need to start realising their benefits as early as possible. So for me, I think those are the three big factors that sum up why Agile is now such an important part of our project management toolkit. But I'll conclude by saying that I'm very much an Agile Pragmatist and perhaps not an Agile purist, in that an awful lot of my work is about how do I relate and integrate Agile approaches into an existing approach to project management. Because I work for a lot of big companies that simply do not want to throw away the good principles that they've invested in and trained people in over the last few years, but at the same time they like some of the benefits of Agile, particularly early deployment, trying to find out whether it works or not very early in the life cycle and getting that early return on investment. I hope this helps some of you who are trying to work out whether Agile is something that you should be interested in.